Robbie, there's been some great nights in an Irish shirt, and then there's been nights like this as well, so you've seen it before, really.
Yeah, of course, yeah. We've had so many ups and downs over the years since I've been here, so today was we can take certainly a lot of positives from it, because the way the players really worked for each other was incredible. We worked our socks off, but unfortunately we got beat. We didn't get any points from the game, so clearly that's disappointing, but you can't fault the effort and the commitment from every player there tonight.
It's going to be more difficult with the last two games, with players on yellow cards, going to miss matches, etc. But do you think if we are to finish fourth, that's a fair reflection of where we are at the moment?
Maybe so. I think we certainly were quite capable of. We would have been quite capable of finishing second. There's no question about it. But these 5 days it certainly has killed us. So listen, we'll just keep going, and we'll try and get as many points on the board as we can, and see where we're at the end of it. Of course, at this moment in time, it's very difficult to say, because after getting beat by two teams that's fairly close to you, and if you like in the way that both teams play and how similar the both teams are. So in that respect, it's hard to take.
I suppose in the last two games, two players stood out: Alaba for Austria, Ibrahimovic for Sweden. We're looking for one of those really coming through, aren't we?
Well, we can. If we get a couple of players like that, he was certainly good tonight. But I mean, I think the heroic defending from the players tonight was incredible. But unfortunately, it just didn't happen at the end, and we scored a great goal. So I don't know. We'll keep plugging away, and we'll keep working hard as hard as we can, and then we see where it takes us. But at the moment, it's very difficult to take, obviously.
You mentioned yesterday that we don't really have a plan B. Do you think we have to start thinking about that for the future?
Well, maybe. I mean, you've been probably around as long as I have. So, I mean, I mentioned it yesterday, and the way we play since I walked in the door, we played the exact same way. So, whether it changes, whether you get different players in, or you get players who just technical players that want to play, or starts from the grassroots up, and by starting now, and hopefully in years to come that'll be the case, because if you look at most teams now, but every team is certainly looking up to the teams, as we keep mentioning, keep people like Spain and how they're producing players who technically is very, very gifted, but unfortunately we don't have them players, so we have to stick to our strengths, and their strengths is getting the ball as forward as quick as possible. Tonight we did try play a stages, but it always goes back to from years ago. It's always a saying in Ireland, isn't it? Give it a lash up the field, and that's not going to change for as far as I'm concerned for a while.
Since you've been here, you've seen the end of Mick and Stan and Brian Kerr, probably the end of Giovanni Trapattoni as well. I'm
not too sure. So I mean, it's very difficult for a player just coming off the back of a result, and be speaking about the manager who's done very, very well for this, certainly for this country. Whatever decision that's being made, we'll see after that. But one thing I would say, he's been a credit to the country, and he's carried himself a way a man of his stature should, and he's been a credit to the country. So wherever happens, we'll see. But we can't forget also that he's been great for this country.
Absolutely, no intention to disrespect him, but and he knows that's a fact of football life as well, isn't it? Well,
listen, I've seen over the years, I've always seen it. So people come and go, and you just have to move on with the times. If that's the case, unfortunately, it's nothing got to do with the players, the decisions. It's the hierarchy. So we'll see what decision they make. I'm sure they will probably be sitting down at some stage and seeing where the future lies for Ireland. But listen, we have to sometimes take a step back also as well, and look at ourselves. We're a small nation, and I think people get carried away sometimes and expect us to qualify all the time. And unfortunately, it wasn't the case with other teams that unfortunately better us at this present time. So we'll kick on, and we still keep plugging away, and we still give a heart like we always do.
Thank you, Robbie.
Cheers, thank you.
Really appreciate it. Well done. Well said.